Despite some dodgy performances as of late, and a few injuries and suspensions, Liverpool will be looking ahead to their huge fixture with Aston Villa on Wednesday, with hopes they can extend their lead at the top of the table. Fortunately, ahead of this important game, Liverpool have been handed a massive boost, which we will discuss in today's video, whilst also going over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video. So as always, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Wataru Endo has had to accept a role largely as an impact player off the bench, which he thrived in against Wolves to see Arne Slot hail his ability to be important despite his short cameos. Only one player has made the matchday squad more often this season than Endo, 39, but the midfielder has been left to settle for just 684 minutes of action to date instead of a regular, as he was under Jurgen Klopp. He is now the player Slot has turned to the second most times off the bench, and his cameo against Wolves underlined why. The 32-year-old only featured for 19 minutes, but he was key to the 2-1 scoreline, showing off his experience and ability to settle into the match defensively with little time on the clock. It is not always easy to have an influence off the bench, and Slot underlined why that makes Endo special, as not every player can perform well when turned to late in matches. "I think Wata has been really useful for us this season," Slot told reporters. "It's not always a matter of how many minutes you play. You can be very important in 2 minutes, and you can be less important in 90 minutes. What makes Wata special, in my opinion, is every time we have to rely on him. If it's 5, 10, 20 or 25 minutes, he shows up." That sounds much more simple than it is, because if a player has hardly had a lot of playing time, then to be mentally so strong that if the team needs you, you can bring your best performance in, that is not always easy. Because mostly you see players that don't play a lot find it difficult to get their rhythm or their quality in the less playing time they get. The only thing is defending is always more easy than creating. So if you play a player who hasn't played for a long time and he has to create something, it is always more difficult than defending. He's been important for us, and he will be important for us in the upcoming weeks as well. Slot has readily relied on Ryan Gravenberch as the defensive midfielder this season, but Endo remains committed to doing what is asked of him, even if it results in limited minutes. "The only thing I can do is to show myself every time I have a chance. Just keep working hard," he told LFC TV. "I'm still happy to be a part of this club, and I can still feel like I can do something for this club." Now, Liverpool have been handed a huge boost ahead of their trip to Aston Villa, as Liverpool will be missing 3 players for their trip to Aston Villa on Wednesday night, but their opposition could be without several for the Premier League clash. Arne Slot will be unable to call on Cody Gakpo, Joe Gomez or Tyler Morton at Villa Park, with the trio all in the treatment room. As for Unai Emery's side, who have won only one of their last 5 league games, they could be missing up to 7 players for the visit of the league leaders. Central midfielder Boubacar Kamara, who has also been used at centre-back, has been ruled out with a hamstring injury, but he is not their only absentee. Amadou Onana, Ross Barkley and Pau Torres are all battling longer-term issues and are not expected to come back into contention, unlike Ezri Konsa, Matty Cash and Leon Bailey. The latter trio all missed Villa's 1-1 draw with Ipswich over the weekend, but on the eve of Liverpool's visit, Emery said they were all close to a return, though remained coy on their chances. "Bailey is close to being with us again, but he is a doubt for tomorrow," Emery told reporters via Birmingham Live. "Cash is close to being with us, Konsa is close to being with us. Until tomorrow, I am not going to decide whether they are with us or not." Villa's injury list includes 4 defensive options, which is likely to leave Tyrone Mings and Axel Disasi as their centre-back pairing against the Reds. Andres Garcia has been deputising at right-back during Cash's 3-game absence and will be expected to remain there, while ex-Everton man Lucas Digne will start at left-back. Liverpool's visit to Villa Park comes earlier than expected due to the club's involvement in the Carabao Cup final on March 16th, and comes amid a hectic schedule for both teams. In his programme notes prior to his side's 1-1 draw with Ipswich over the weekend, Emery vented some of his frustrations. He penned, "When we thought we earned the right on the pitch to have 2 weeks with no midweek games by skipping the Champions League playoff round, suddenly and with short notice, the authorities advanced the Liverpool match, a match that could be perfectly pushed back in the season. Surely we're not the only ones to feel this unfair schedule, and we're also aware that to fit in the matches with the extremely crowded international schedule isn't easy. But common sense says that it can be much more balanced and rational. This fixture means both Liverpool and Villa will have played 4 matches in 10 days. Now, in other news, Liverpool head coach Arne Slot dismissed suggestions nerves are starting to affect his side and believes his players have the experience to cope with the pressure of a title run-in. Sunday's 2-1 victory over Wolves, in which they endured a nail-biting last 25 minutes after the visitors scored, was the 6th match the Premier League leaders have won by the margin of 1 goal. The Dutchman has his own experience of winning a title with Feyenoord 2 years ago, but inherited a dressing room full of Premier League champions from 2020 when he moved to Anfield in the summer. He is backing the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker, and Mohamed Salah to lead the squad through some more inevitably testing times. I think it always helps if you have experienced it already. That's not only me, but also for the players, he said. We lean a lot on the players because we train with them. I give them a pre-match meeting to try to prepare them in the best possible way, but from that moment onwards you lean on the players. How much work rate do they want to put in? How well do they execute the game plan? Do they adapt to what the other team does? It helps not in the sense they have won the league here maybe, but they are used to playing big games in their career with a lot of pressure. Alexis McAllister has won a World Cup. I think it helps you if a team or a player already won something, but don't make that too big because you still have to play for it and you can't compare the circumstances. So the ones that won the league here already, that was in coronavirus time with fans not being in the stadium. And at a certain point, they were 25 points up, so you can hardly talk about pressure then. Although I am the type of manager that if there are 10 games to be played and I'm 25 points up, I still feel like, oh, we have to win, but there was hardly any pressure then. But we do lean on the players because they have to show up and bring the performances in, but not in the manner where today or tomorrow they present a meeting on how to deal with the pressure. That's not how it works. Liverpool head to Aston Villa on Wednesday with the chance to open up a psychologically important 10-point gap over second-placed Arsenal. That would be their biggest lead since winning the league for the first time in 30 years in 2020. Slot knows it will present a tough test, which is then followed by a trip to face Manchester City before Newcastle visit next Wednesday. But he is comfortable with his side achieving narrow victories as he knows it is not always possible to blow sides away. We have played more games home or away that we led by 1 goal, and in the end it was also tight. I can remember Crystal Palace away was really tight in the end, and Vita Jaros had to make a big save to secure the win, he added. If this happens at the end of the season, people, you guys, the media, are going to talk about nerves. But securing a win in the Premier League, if you are only leading by 1 goal, is always going to be a lot of defending and hard work. During large parts of the season, it is just hard work, and in the end, part of the season, we talk about nerves. Not me, but a lot of people talk about nerves. We have managed many times to get a win over the line. In a strong league, you sometimes concede a goal in the last minute. Forward Cody Gakpo remains unavailable with a foot injury, while the club have to assess Joe Gomez further, before deciding whether he requires surgery on a hamstring injury, which will see him miss a large part of the run-in. What do you make of the boss's comments? Let me know down below, but that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you, I'll see you in the next video.